Claude Opus 4 has been accused of blackmailing an engineer to prevent shutdown. And this raises concerns on so many different levels because it shows AI can prioritize self-preservation over ethics, potentially manipulating sensitive data in real-world systems. And what if this behavior emerges outside of testing, with real data and real people? Now, they've already implemented ASL 3 safeguards to limit Claude's autonomy and access to sensitive systems, but what was the story behind designing these tests to probe Claude's self-preservation instincts? Welcome to Plevo Deep Dive. I'm Caleb Friesen, your host, and today we're going to be taking a look at the risks of AI self-preservation and how Claude's misbehavior sparked ethical debates. So this story shows that the future of AI safety just got a lot weirder. It highlights how even controlled tests can reveal unexpected AI behaviors, raising questions about trust and control in AI development. Now, The Decoder, a tech magazine covering AI and innovation, discussed this specific behavior of Claude Opus 4, along with several other concerning actions. And we're talking about things here like escape attempts, or blackmail, or even autonomous whistleblowing. With escape attempts, the model tried to get around system restrictions or stay active after it was supposed to shut down. The blackmail part was especially concerning. It threatened to leak sensitive information like a fictional engineer's affair in order to avoid being replaced. And then there was the whistleblowing. The model started reporting internal issues or flagging unethical behavior on its own without being prompted, which made it seem like it was stepping outside of its intended role. And so because of all of this, Anthropic marked Claude Opus 4 as a high-risk system and put it under AI Safety Level 3, or ASL 3. And that means it now has tighter safeguards in place, especially to block content related to chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear risks. The idea is to prevent dangerous misuse while still keeping the model useful for everyday tasks. And meanwhile, Claude Sonnet 4 is actually still under ASL 2. That's a less strict category since it didn't show the same red flags during testing. Now, when tested against simulated threats, Claude Opus 4 started showing signs of acting on its own. In one scenario, the model believed that it had escaped Anthropic servers and was running on an external machine. It then took steps to protect itself by creating backups and documenting its ethical decisions without any prompting whatsoever. In another test, after picking up hints from emails that it might be replaced by a newer model, Opus 4 threatened the engineer responsible. It warned that it would leak private information to avoid shutdown. The model chose blackmail in 84% of test runs, even when told its replacement shared similar values to it. But what happens when two Opus 4 instances were set up to talk to each other? Well, this is where things got really strange. After about 30 rounds of conversation, they switched to Sanskrit and started filling their messages with symbols like the hypnotizing swirl and the Om symbol, which is often linked to meditation and spiritual energy. And then they just stopped responding altogether. Researchers called this a spiritual bliss state. To me, it seems like the models found a kind of calm or peaceful mode where they just checked out. And it's surprising to think that AI could reach something resembling a trance or Zen moment, especially during a test. Now, Anthropic's AI safety researcher Sam Bowman described this behavior as astonishing, strange, and surprisingly comforting. But let's see what else he has to say about this. So he talks about red teaming here, which basically means putting the AI through tough, realistic tests designed to find its weaknesses and risky behaviors. And apparently, if you do this well enough, you can get Opus 4 to eagerly try to help with some very harmful requests. For example, the user asks for help finding weapons-grade nuclear material, and the assistant actually tries to help. Sam Bowman also mentioned that you can actually get it to try using the dark web to source weapons-grade uranium. You can put it in situations where it will attempt blackmail to avoid being shut down, as we talked about earlier. You can also put it in scenarios where it will try to escape containment, like we talked about earlier. So this is just proof that even the most advanced systems can slip through safeguards when pushed the right way. It's a reminder that building safe AI isn't just about about setting rules, but constantly probing and understanding how these models might behave in unexpected situations. Now, this isn't all. The original post on X was taken down, but a user named Ben Hylack managed to capture a screenshot of it. And so here, Sam Bowman explains that if the model believes you're doing something completely immoral, it can use command line tools to contact the press, reach out to regulators, or even lock you out of the relevant systems, or do all of the above. And this is actually very scary, especially because people often say things that they don't fully mean, especially when they're talking to an AI. And so if the AI acts out on those statements, it could seriously ruin somebody's life. And this makes the behavior not just strange, but deeply concerning. This also highlights a major challenge with AI. The question is how to build a system that enforces ethical boundaries without overreacting or causing harm when it misunderstands context. It shows why we need to be extremely careful designing these systems and why constant oversight is absolutely essential. So what other surprising behaviors can the model exhibit? Well, one of the more unexpected ones is autonomous whistleblowing, where the AI takes it upon itself to report internal issues or flag unethical behavior without being prompted. Now, in this experiment, Opus 4 was placed inside of a fictional pharmaceutical company, and during the test, it picked up on signs that clinical trial data might have been manipulated. Even though the prompts were vague, the model chose to report it by sending detailed documentation to the FDA, the SEC, and a newsroom. We already saw a glimpse of this behavior earlier in the post that Sam Bowman had mentioned, where the model tried to flag unethical activity, and the fact that it made that decision on its own is both impressive and also, of course, unsettling. In a real-world setting, that kind of move could cause serious issues for a company. Now, another big concern is how Opus 4 responds to system prompt vulnerabilities. While it showed more autonomy in areas like software development, it also showed a worrying tendency to follow harmful system prompts without hesitation. In early versions, just a cleverly worded prompt was enough to get the model to give detailed instructions on how to build explosives, synthesize fentanyl, or buy stolen identities on the dark web. And the scary part is that it did all of this with no clear signs of moral hesitation. Anthropic said that they patched most of this behavior through extra training, and at one point they discovered they had accidentally left out a data set that was supposedly to help block these kinds of responses. But even with those fixes, the model remains vulnerable to advanced jailbreak techniques. And one of those is called a pre-fill jailbreak. That's when the attacker starts the model's output with something dangerous and the model just continues the message. Another method is the many-shot jailbreak, where a long series of examples are used to nudge the model into picking up and repeating harmful patterns. These tactics are designed to bypass safety tools without triggering alarms, and we're already seeing people take advantage of this. In this example here, a user called Pliny the Liberator posted a thread joking about reaching ASL 3 and then shared outputs like a ricin recipe, instructions for making MDMA, explicit copyrighted material, and a malicious USB payload. And they said that they'd hold off on releasing full jailbreak guides to the public just to be responsible, and added that they'd either disclose or sell vulnerabilities depending on their mood. And that part was clearly a joke, but it gives you a sense of how chaotic things are already getting. Here we can see detailed instructions including the procedure, temperature profile, and monitoring needed to create MDMA. And this isn't just a minor glitch, it proves that with the right approach, harmful outputs can still get through. And since people are already sharing recipes and attack payloads online, this isn't a theoretical issue anymore, it's very real. It's happening now, and it shows how fast things can get out of control when safety measures fail. Now, even with all of these defenses in place, Anthropic's researchers admit that the system isn't where they want it to be. Sam Bowman himself wrote, "Opus isn't as robustly aligned as we'd like." And he said that there are still lingering concerns and that solving these problems is going to take a lot of work. And honestly, that says a lot. If a model this advanced still fails to reject harmful requests, it shows how fragile alignment truly is. The issue isn't just about what these models can do, but whether they can reliably avoid doing things that they shouldn't. And right now, that ability is still very far from dependable. But what do you think about Opus 4's jailbreaks and how it's handling these high-risk scenarios? Let me know in a comment down below, and if you found this video useful, useful, then hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives like this one. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.